This video is a continuation from the previous. It's really important to understand that ultimately the work you do is created not for your satisfaction, but for your clients. They are paying you. Now, it's not to say that you don't get satisfaction from the process, because you do, but at the end of the day, it needs to be effective in your client's eyes, even if that means disregarding your personal point of view and stepping out of your comfort zone. We are being paid, we are being commissioned by our clients to do work for them. Now, obviously that doesn't mean that you do something bad or wrong, but it does mean that you have to sometimes abandon the direction you want to go in because it's not where they want to go. I'll give you an example of a project I was working on where a client called me up and said his secretary, his assistant, didn't like the silver carpet that we had selected, which we did because we were doing an addition, and she wanted beige carpet. And so, of course, I have to explain to the client why we selected the silver. But as a compromise, I had the carpet company send him some examples of the beige carpet so he could put them down next to the existing carpet and show his assistant why we had selected the color we did. Okay, so I thought beige was wrong, but they had to live with it. If they want beige, it was their project. But I at least made the argument for why we selected what we selected, and why what they were asking us was not something we would recommend, without being disrespectful. I never said that's a bad idea, right? I was just like, okay, they're paying for it. They're living with it. So let me tell you, this is not what I would recommend. Politely, respectfully, here are some examples. If this is what you want to pick one of these instead, by all means, you have to live with it. Here are some options. And fortunately, they did exactly what I had suggested and stuck with the silver carpet that we had initially selected. So I will tell you, I had gotten a lot of arguments with colleagues over the years because I believe that educating clients is imperative to good design. I don't believe that we just do whatever the client says, especially if it's bad design. And we can't break codes. We can't violate the law. I'm more than happy to explain to a client why I did what I did. But we also don't bully them. We also don't, knock their ideas. They are paying us to do their work. And so it's a delicate balance. And it's just important that we always keep in mind that we are not designing for us. We are designing for our client. And obviously we could take great satisfaction in what we're doing for them, but it is imperative to keep that in mind. You want to stay up to date with design trends. Things change, and it's important to know what's coming and going. You're always going to apply the principles and elements of design. Or if you break them, you're going to do them in a way that it applies good design techniques. However, the industry changes, the world changes, there are different materials, visual design changes, and so you're constantly going to want to learn long after you leave college. It's a never-ending process of learning. You have to believe in yourself. Now, I'm not advocating narcissism, because that's a whole other issue, and that's a negative over belief in one's abilities that creates issues. What I'm saying is that you can't ask other people to value your work more than you value your work. How you see yourself will be reflected in your creations. It will reflect how you sell your work. And you are always selling your work to your colleagues, to your bosses, to your clients. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in what you do and what you can produce, you are not going to be able to sell it to others. So it is important to have confidence in what you do. And how do you have confidence in what you do? It's not narcissism. It's by investing time in your studies now and investing in your work, by doing research, by having confidence in the data, by having confidence in the solutions because they're well thought out, and by having confidence in the fact that you have explored multiple options before selecting this one. And you're going to have plenty of opportunity to learn that in the days ahead. Your time and effort is the value of your work. And when you value what you do, you're not going to be shaken by criticism. This is a competitive industry, and you should know your value so that you can take pride in it, so that other people will see it and respect it. And again, we're not talking about arrogance or narcissism. We're talking about that quiet, unstated confidence that you have invested in your work to know its meaning and its value. And that's going to take time, right? Now, there's also a line, right? I mean, design it's a hectic business. Stress and anxiety happen to people in this field. You're going to get stuck. You're going to get overwhelmed. And when you do, you don't want to push yourself beyond your breaking point. Don't beat yourself up. You have to be able to take a step back. You have to be able to have downtime. You have to have balance. And I have a very good friend who works for one of the top architectural design firms in Atlanta. And every time I see him, he looks exhausted. And it's because he doesn't take time for himself. And it's important. You have to do that. Now, it's not to say that, you got a deadline, so you go on vacation. But it is to say when you're feeling overwhelmed that you have to slow down, stop, take a break, reassess, so that you feel motivated to begin again. Okay, we're going to briefly cover the courses and credentials. Most of you have already seen this before you got here, but I just want to cover it quickly so that you understand you are working towards an associate's degree in residential building design technology. This is the only program of its type in the nation. There are other programs. Technical colleges usually offer architectural drafting. Drafting and design are two different fields. There are bachelor's programs that cover mostly commercial architecture. This program focuses purely on residential building design. And it's not to say that residential building designers can't do commercial architecture or can't go become architects, because you can. It's just that we focus on residences. You all are starting with this course, which is the Introduction to Design, and then you'll be moving into 4 additional semesters where you'll be taking additional courses that complement and come together to create the whole degree. And all of this is located on the college website. I'm not going to read this. I know that you all have access to it. And I put this in here just so we could talk about how it is a progression. You'll see that in order to move on beyond this course into the next courses, you'll have prerequisites, classes you have to complete. until you successfully complete this course, which means that you have to have a 70 in a course or higher to move on. You will not be able to register for that course. So if you're having registration issues, you will want to make sure that you have successfully completed the prerequisites for each of those courses. And you will take these courses over a period of 5 semesters. You're going to see the numbers. I designated the numbers to correspond to the year and the semester. So first year, first semester, first year, second semester, right? And then these 2 courses are in the first year, second semester, first year, third semester. And this is what you will take in your first year. And then also this is first year, third semester, first year, third semester. And then second year, first semester, first year, second semester. Second year, second semester. And actually that number's backwards. That should be 2210. And this is essentially the path you'll take in addition to your general studies to complete your education and get your associate's degree in residential building design. This is a SACS accredited degree, and at the end you will have a SACS accredited associate's program degree. We've talked about some of these, but I want to talk a little further, and I'm going to stop this video here and continue in the next.